Hello everyone and welcome to a new Eurovision video. So today I am starting a new project here on YouTube. Since Eurovision 2023 is over, we need to be doing something to keep ourselves busy. So what am I gonna do? I am going to review and rank every single country at Eurovision and all their entries at Eurovision from 2010 up until now. So I'm gonna go country by country, ranking and rating all of the songs and their performances. And we're going to discuss that. And at the end, we will be able to see what is the highest scoring country, who has got the best songs, who's got the best performances, and which year was my favorite in the end. In this rating, I have excluded 2020 because I am specifically ranking both the song and the performance, since for me personally the performance is a huge part of Eurovision and it matters a lot to me. So for 2020 I will do a separate video, a separate ranking, but I will not include those in this ranking. So today we will be starting with Albania. Just to say, we're not going to do this in an alphabetical order, but we're still starting with Albania. And basically what I will do is I will just discuss my top 13. I will discuss, why did I rank them the way I did? Maybe some are surprising opinions, some are maybe a bit controversial. I don't know, that's up to you to decide. In any case, I would love to know your thoughts on my rankings, so let me know in the comments below. And if you want to share your ranking and if you want to discuss, feel free to do so. So let's get into this. Okay, so Albania at Eurovision, what do you think about? I'm also curious, what is the first word that pops into your mind when you think about Albania at Eurovision? Because for me, there is two things. This is for two things. First of all, powerhouse vocals. One year after the other, they sent powerhouse vocalists. There's a few exceptions. There's a few songs for which you don't need necessarily powerhouse vocals, but the vocals are more or less always on point. They're always there. Plus, what is also always there, or almost always there, is the black and red theme. And it seems like this is Albania's thing, which, they're doing it very well. They're doing it very well, because the second thing that comes up to my mind when I think about Albania, it's consistency. Consistency for me in the sense that year after year, Albania managed to deliver something that I enjoy. Usually I really like their performance, even if I don't like the song. A lot of times when I don't like the song or when I'm not a big fan of the song, they will still bring a performance that I really like, and then I end up still liking the song. So those are the things that remind me of Albania. But let me know if you have any others. I will be interesting to see. So let's get started on my ranking, shall we? So in the last place, unfortunately, is Albania of 2016. Fairy Tale. Yeah, I always felt like there was potential in the song. I think it has an interesting melody, but it just doesn't go anywhere. It just doesn't go anywhere, and it feels so empty sometimes. And usually, Albania make it right with the performance. And in this case, the performance is not giving me anything, and neither is the styling. And the voice is okay. The voice is not the problem, but everything else kind of is, unfortunately. I feel like there really was potential in here, and I gave it a 4.5 for both the song and the performance. making it into my last place. In my 12th place is 2013. I kind of enjoy watching this performance. I think they're fun guys to watch. It's not my favorite song. I don't think it's an amazing song, but I enjoy the performance, and that's why I gave the performance a 5.5 still. What I mainly like about the performance in the end is the guitar and the guitar solo, and then the fireworks coming out of it. I think that's a really nice touch. This is not something that I hate, but it's also not my favorite. I think the performance definitely helps it for me. The song alone I would never listen to, which is why I gave the song a 4. But like I said, the performance is a 5.5 for me. Next up, in the 11th place is Albania in 2014. Free your mind from the doubts that are tickling. Free your heart and let the beast and let your feelings. This song and this performance, especially the performance, I've always kind of enjoyed actually. I think it looks pretty. I think she sounds alright, and I think even the song is not too bad. I think the song is actually alright. I do think it lacks some power, but I have always liked the melody of it. With the song that they had, I think in terms of staging and performance, they've done what they could, which is why I gave that performance a 6 and the song itself a 5.5, because I do feel like it lacks power and it sometimes might feel a little bit empty as well, but in the end, not bad. I still enjoy seeing it every single time. So I feel like overall Albania is one of my favorite Eurovision countries. So even the lower ranking songs I still manage to enjoy. In 10th place, unfortunately, is 2022. Secret. The song itself, it's great. I like it. I gave it a 7. Never in, like, throughout the whole Eurovision season last year, never did I think that Albania would not make it. I was never so sure of Albania making it until I saw the rehearsals, and the reason why this is so low in my ranking is the performance, because I feel like everything about this performance was wrong. And this sounds really tough. I tend to be also, I guess, tougher on the songs and the entries that I really like, because I had very high expectations, since the national selection performance was top notch. Like, she could have copied and pasted that and it would have been great. Unfortunately, it turned into Pink Fest. I think vocally she wasn't on point. I think she used to be a lot better. Perhaps she just had like a bad day in terms of singing, but it was unfortunate. I thought the staging as well, it looked just a bit messy at times, especially at the end when they were like doing some of their dance. It just felt so static, and I just never, I just don't really enjoy watching this performance, and this is really, really too bad, because I really liked the song, and I really thought that there was so much more potential, so much more potential. So like I said, the song I gave a 7, the performance in the end a 5.5. Next up, in the 9th place, it is 2012. Now hear me out. I know that a lot of people love this, and I want to say that I definitely think that this performance and this song are quality. I think that I understand why it did so well. Let me just say that. And I love the instrumental of the song. I think if there would be no singing, I would just love listening to the instrumental of the song. I think that is beautiful. But the vocals, the voice, it has got the same effect on me as Blanca Paloma's song had. I can't listen to it. I still think Albania in 2012 is a bit more listenable to me than Blanca Paloma's song, but both suffer for me from the same thing, which is it's just too much in my face. It's just not for my ears. So again, I love the instrumental, but the rest of the song is kind of I just can't really listen to it. I still gave it a 6 because I think it is a good song. It is quality, as I said. But yeah, definitely not one of my favorites. In terms of performance, I gave it also a 7. Then in 8th place is, in my opinion, one of the most underrated songs of the past years, or performances actually of the past years, which is Albania in 2011, Feel the Passion.
Let me share my song with you. Just feel the passion. Love's the message shining through.
I personally am not a big fan of Eurovision 2011. I know a lot of people are. There's not a lot of songs and performances that I really enjoy. I think in terms of the stage, this is probably one of the best ones we've had in terms of visuals and stuff, but in terms of the songs and the quality of singers as well, like some of it was quite questionable. I thought it was an amazing year, and when I look at everything, I thought that Albania should have been just a sure qualifier. I think this is powerful. I think she has a great voice. I love the pyros. I love the fire. I just really, really enjoyed this performance. I don't have a lot more to say about this. This song, it's a 6 for me. It's not out of this world, but it's not out of this world on its own, but the performance really levels it up, and I gave the performance a 7. So, next up, in 7th place, it's Albania of 2010. It's All About You.
It's all about you, the things that I do. The rest of the world don't understand me. You're all that I dream.
In my opinion, It's All About You is the most surprising song that comes from Albania, because Albania tends to send very specific songs, very like ethnic songs. There's always some type of ethnic taste to it, whether it's the language or whether it's just their way of singing or the music, which is a lot of the times quite ethnic, which I love. But 2010 feels like the only song that was extremely modern for the time they were performing it. So yeah, I think this is a great bop. I think in terms of the performance, it's not one of my favorites from Albania. I think they could have done a lot more. It's a very catchy song. It was a very modern song, and I think in terms of styling and in terms of the performance, I think they could have done a lot more, because right now she was just standing on stage and like moving a bit in her place, but I feel like there was more potential for a nice performance. Nevertheless, a 7 for the song and still a 6 for the performance, because she delivered it well, she sang it well. I just think that they could have done more, but overall, very, very decent entry still. Up next in 6th place is 2023. I think in terms of the song, this is a perfect example of one of the entries that wasn't on my radar before Eurovision, and I didn't really like the song before Eurovision. But then they did the performance, and I was blown away. Everything just looked so sleek. They sounded so good, and I just love watching this family. Yeah, I think everything about this performance was good, and that is why it was brought up higher, because in terms of the song, it is a 5.5 for me, but in terms of the performance, it got an 8. And a well-deserved one. I really, really, really enjoyed it. So well done to Albania this year. And then in 5th place, it is 2017 World. Maybe this is surprising to some people that this is so high. And in all honesty, if it was based on performance only, it would not be this high. Why is it this high? It's because this is my favorite song from Albania. The song I gave an 8.5 because I remember back in 2017 and even afterwards, I would listen to this song so many times, and I thought it was so powerful, this long note in the end. I just felt so empowered listening to it. I love it. I loved it so much. So that's why I gave it a high score in terms of the song. The performance, I think it had potential. I really liked the backdrop. I thought it looked super, super intriguing. But the rest just didn't come together. I think she didn't sound as good as I know she could sound. I think probably she was sick. I'm not sure because I just read this on the internet, but I read that she was sick and not doing well, so that might explain why. But it is too bad. I also think the styling, I feel like Albania is usually super good at styling. And I think, I don't know what happened this year, but it looks just a bit cheap. So yeah, I was really sad that the performance turned out the way it was. I don't think it was terrible. I gave it a 5.5. But, in terms of voice, in terms of styling, it could have been much, much better. But still, great song. Love it. Up next, in 4th place, is 2015, I'm Alive.
I know you will come with the speed of the light. You're my everything, all that I need. You shut down my dreams, but I'm not the...
The song I like a lot. I think it's super catchy. And I also think it's quite modern for Albanian standards too. I really liked the styling in the performance, especially in the grand final. But the score for this performance was mainly brought down by the vocals. I think at the time when I was watching it in the Netherlands, there was a lot of controversy that she made it to the final because a lot of people thought that she sounded off. And she wasn't sounding perfect indeed. It was very much on the edge the whole time. Nevertheless, I liked the performance. I love the song, and I still gave the performance a 6, but I do feel like if the performance would have been stronger, this could have easily been a 7 for me, or even a 7.5 perhaps. So now we get to the 3rd place, which is 2021. I think that the song is average at best. I can listen to it, you know, I can listen to it and have fun too, but it's not out of this world. But when I really started enjoying this entry was again when I saw the performance, because, you know, she is standing there all by herself, but she is killing it. She looks great, she sounded great, the performance looked great, like the camera work was well done. I loved the color schemes that they used, like the red but a bit of like bluish, greenish, so pretty. So yeah, I think this is a really deserved third place in this ranking. In the second place, we have 2019. And it is so high, this particularly because I love the song. There is something very magical about this song, very atmospherical, very, it's dark and dramatic, but I quite like dark and dramatic. I think this might have been even a higher score if her vocals were just a tiny bit better. I don't think she sounded terrible, but she did sound a little sharp at times, especially during the very high notes, which kind of is like a little too bad for me. But overall, I really enjoyed the performance, the aesthetics, her styling, the song is great. So for 2019, I gave an 8 for the song because I love it, and I gave the performance a 7. Perhaps if the vocals were like perfect, like pitch perfect, it could have been an 8, but for now I still think this is a pretty good result, and I will deserve second place in my top. Which means that the number 1 is 2018. In 2018 is my overall favorite package. I think the song, you know, I have some other songs from Albania that I enjoy listening to more, because I gave this song a 7.5. But the performance is just, it was always breathtaking for me. I just enjoy watching him so much because he's got an amazing voice, and it's kind of unusual for Albania, right, to send a man, and then for this man, like usually we have women powerhouses, and now we had a guy who was like a super powerhouse too. Amazing voice, great song, great charisma, great styling. You know, I loved it. I loved it, and to this day I'm super happy that they made it during this year. And also, by the way, in 2019, because both of those years I wasn't sure, and I was very glad that they ended up making it. So this was my top 13 of Albania's entries from 2010 up until now. Albania in my rankings has scored an average of 6.5 out of 10, which I think is a good score. Both for the song is a 6.4 average, the performance was a 6.5 average. I think it's a good score, but I think we'll only find out like how well it is in comparison to the others, because this is only the first country that I've done. And when I do my other countries, I will also keep a scoreboard of like which country is on top, which year is on top. So yeah, I guess that will start in the next video. So for now, I want to thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and let me know in the comments what did you think, and if you have any feedback or anything that you liked, I'm happy to hear. And then I will see you next time, and the next country that I will be reviewing will be Moldova. So stay tuned.